Okay, sports fans. So apparently YouTube does not recognize the fact that we paid a substantial fee to be able to use certain music that's been slightly less copyrighted, I guess we can call it. And that entire bank of theme music that I downloaded to play around with and use for intros has been rejected by YouTube to the point where they're not even putting the podcast up. So we're going to go back to the original format until I figure out a way around this. Let's face the facts. If I can figure out a Rubik's Cube, I can probably figure this out. So today, ladies and gentlemen, woodland cryptids, over-caffeinated night shift workers, and that one guy listening from a garage while organizing canned beans by expiration date, welcome back to the podcast. Now, normally around here we discuss preparedness, survival, and how to get the most out of a can of beans. But today we're going to take a hard left turn directly into Conspiracy Canyon with the brakes cut and the steering wheel zip tied in place. That's right, we're changing the theme up a bit today. Because frankly, the world has become so aggressively ridiculous in reality lately that reality itself feels like it was assembled by interns using expired instructions and discount duct tape. So instead of discussing the normal chaos, we figured we'd relax by discussing a few conspiracy theories. You know, a palate cleanser. Nothing too serious, just some light recreational paranoia. I want to look at CERN, the CERN Hadron Collider. God, I can never say that right. And keep in mind, this is, what is it? It's like 8 o'clock, and I've been up typing this since 5 o'clock, and I've only had one cup of coffee, so just deal with it. Maybe CERN cracked open reality like a glow stick behind a middle school gymnasium. Maybe Bigfoot is interdimensional and only appears blurry because he operates on ancient woodland Wi-Fi. Maybe every missing sock is actually being collected by subterranean civilizations preparing for war. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? The important thing is, for the next, I don't know, maybe up to an hour, we're going to sit around a digital campfire together and temporarily escape the reality and the insanity by discussing imaginary insanity. I'm not sure it's good from going from one to the other, and we're probably going to release a few crackpots today, but I just want to get out of the reality and get into something slightly different. It's kind of like turning on the Three Stooges. If you understand the Three Stooges and how they are the one escape that most of us can find comfort with, I'm trying to do that with this podcast today. I don't know. Somehow it just feels healthier. So grab your coffee, adjust your tinfoil hat to a comfortable tactical angle, and settle in. Today we ask the important questions. Why are people suddenly seeing glitches in reality? Why does every conspiracy video look like it was deleted and edited during a hostage situation? And why does Sasquatch always manage to avoid high-definition cameras like he owes child support across the state lines? All that and more right here on the only show brave enough to ask, what if the timeline broke, but only enough to make people drive worse? If you live anywhere around New Jersey, New York, or New England drivers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's begin. CERN, glitches in the Matrix, and the sudden career boom of Sasquatch. A completely serious investigation into the absolutely questionable conclusions. Here's your introduction. The day reality apparently forgot its password. Humanity has always had a special talent for seeing patterns in chaos. Ancient people looked at eclipses and thought dragons were eating the moons. Medieval villagers blamed poor harvests on witches. Modern internet philosophers, armed with 12 browser tabs and a YouTube documentary narrated by a man who sounds permanently concerned, have decided that the Large Hadron Collider at CERN is ripping tiny holes in reality itself. Naturally, this has somehow been connected to Sasquatch sightings, because, of course, it has. Somewhere in Switzerland, physics are smashing particles together in order to better understand the building blocks of the universe. Meanwhile, on the internet, a man named Truth Wolf 1776 is convinced those same scientists accidentally turned Nebraska into a parallel dimension where breakfast cereal tastes slightly different than before 2012. This episode explores the wildly entertaining collision between real science, internet mythologies, glitch in the matrix stories, and the enduring legend of Sasquatch. While we will examine CERN's purpose, why people believe reality is malfunctioning, why Sasquatch continues appearing in suspiciously blurry photographs, and why humans are biologically incapable of accepting that sometimes we simply misplaced our keys. And I would like to just talk about those photographs for a second of blurry pictures. We have cameras now that can shoot over 1 million frames per second. We have cameras that can catch a hummingbird's wings. Still, we have cameras that can catch a bullet moving through the air less than an inch at a time. But we still can't get a good, clear picture of Sasquatch. Y'all are failing me. I want a good picture, not just footprints. I want a real picture. So prepare yourselves. We are entering a realm where quantum mechanics meets Facebook comments written entirely in capital letters. And some people still don't know it, so I will tell you, if something's written in capital letters, it's supposed to sound like someone's screaming when they write, not just writing. It's supposed to be like they're yelling the statement at you. Chapter 1. CERN, humanity's giant underground science donut. The European Organization for Nuclear Research, better known as CERN, operates one of the largest scientific instruments ever built, the Large Hadron Collider, or LHC. This machine is a 17-mile underground ring near Geneva designed to accelerate particles to extraordinary speeds before smashing them together. To physicists, this is a monumental achievement of engineering and scientific inquiry. To conspiracy theorists, this is apparently the opening scene of a disaster movie where someone ignores a blinking red warning light. The LHC helps scientists study subatomic particles and fundamental forces. In 2012, researchers famously confirmed the existence of Higgs boson, often nicknamed the God particle, which immediately caused the internet to behave normally and rationally for less than 4 minutes. After that brief pause, people began asking, did CERN open a portal? Did CERN alter timelines? Did CERN accidentally merge dimensions? And did CERN create a universe where pineapple on pizza became acceptable? The answer to all of these scientifically is no, but the rumor spread faster than free donuts in an office break room. One reason is that particle physics sounds deeply suspicious to people unfamiliar with it. Terms like quantum fluctuations, dark matter, and micro black holes sounds less scientific research and more like rejected plot lines from a low-budget streaming series on YouTube by an actor who wanted to be famous in 1997 and failed. Unfortunately, once people hear the phrase, scientists are smashing atoms together, the imagination immediately begins sprinting barefoot through the woods carrying a flashlight and a can of ravioli because the world is about to end as we know it. Then the Mandela effect comes into play. The Mandela effect and humanity's refusal to admit being wrong. One of the major pillars supporting glitch in the matrix theories is the Mandela effect. This is the phenomenon that occurs when large groups of people remember something incorrectly in the exact same way. Examples include Bernstein Bears supposedly being remembered as it's Bernstein Bears. I don't know. I never got that one, but it's probably one of the most common. People believing the Monopoly Man had a monocle at one time. Entire armies of people insisting Sinbad starred in a genie movie that never existed. Instead of concluding that human memory is flawed, many people decided the more reasonable explanation was interdimensional timeline collapse. You people are nuts. Because apparently it is easier to believe in a multi-universal rupture than to admit the brain occasionally stores information like drunk squirrels hiding acorns. Human memory is surprisingly unreliable, but psychologists have demonstrated repeatedly that memory can be altered, reshaped, and outright fabricated. Witness testimony in criminal trials is notoriously imperfect. Sorry for the yawn. Yet every year, thousands of people confidently announce, I distinctly remember Pikachu. I have no idea what a Pikachu is. Oh, no, that's that Pac-Man Go guy having a black striped tail. CERN definitely changed reality. This is roughly equivalent to losing your TV remote and concluding the Coast Guard is testing mind control satellites. Still, the Mandela effect remains fascinating because it reveals something deeply human. People hate uncertainty. The brain wants patterns. It wants certainty. It wants tidy explanations wrapped in comforting narratives. Unfortunately, reality is less tidy than a raccoon dumpster convention. Glitches in the Matrix and other things that probably have much simpler explanations. The phrase glitch in the Matrix exploded in popularity after the release of the Matrix movie in 1999. Suddenly, every strange coincidence became evidence that reality might be secretly a simulation. People began sharing stories online. A stranger vanished mysteriously. Time seemed to skip forward. Someone saw the same car 3 times within 5 minutes. A cat walked through a room twice. Now, to be fair, some experiences genuinely feel strange. Human perception isn't perfect. Stress, exhaustion, attention lapses, and memory quirks can create eerie moments. But the internet transformed every mild, usual event into the simulation is breaking. One person forgets where they parked at Walmart, and suddenly we are discussing digital rendering errors in Sector 7. Meanwhile, actual computer programmers read these theories while staring blankly into space because they know how unstable software already is. If reality was truly coded and programmed by a human, gravity would crash every Thursday after a security update. But this is only for Windows users. We don't have this problem with Macs, obviously. The appeal of simulation theory is understandable. It transforms ordinary confusion into cosmic importance. Suddenly your missing socks are not laundry mistakes. They're frickin' evidence. Powerful stuff. This is truly terrifying. Who can argue with a 100% sock-based evidence theory? Now, enter Sasquatch, stage left through the forest fog. Bigfoot occupies position in folklore because, unlike ghosts or aliens, he is theoretically possible. Large primates have existed before. Gigantopithecus, an erectave species, once actually roamed Asia. This tiny sliver of plausibility allows Sasquatch believers to maintain hope despite decades of blurry footage that resembles security evidence from a gas station hot dog theft. Doesn't change my feelings, but truthfully, I think it's one of the reasons why this thing is dragging on the way it is. I think, man, you want to believe in Sasquatch. I know you do. It's just it's not they don't trust the evidence at hand. There isn't enough evidence at hand. Again, big sky, little bullet theory. I just refuse to not believe. Interestingly, reports of Sasquatch sightings have increased during the same era as online conspiracy culture. Some people believe CERN and dimensional instability are connected to cryptid appearances. According to these theories, Sasquatch phases between dimensions. CERN weakened reality barriers. Bigfoot slips into our timeline accidentally. Forest portals exist. Interdimensional hairy ape men are apparently terrible at staying hidden. This raises several logical questions. If Sasquatch can travel between dimensions, why does he keep appearing near campsites? Why does every photograph look like it was taken using a microwave oven? Why has no one captured clear footage despite modern phones containing cameras powerful enough to photograph Jupiter? Apparently, Sasquatch can evade satellites, drones, trail cameras, thermal optics, hunters, park rangers, and millions of smartphones. Yet somehow he still gets spotted by Carl from Ohio holding a beef jerky stick, a can of beer, and a disposable Kodak from 1994. Sasquatch is truly a remarkable creature. Why humans love conspiracies? Conspiracy theories flourish during periods of uncertainty. Economic stress, rapid technological change, political tension, and information overload all create fertile ground for extraordinary explanations. So, this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this episode today. Based on what I just said, we are in prime territory for a whole bunch more conspiracy theories to drop. Think about it. Political tensions, information overload. Yeah, we're getting our asses kicked. Here come the conspiracy theories. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's coming. The world feels chaotic. Conspiracies provide structure. Instead of accepting randomness, people invent narratives, secret cabals, hidden agendas, reality manipulation, particle physics apparently moonlighting as dimensional wizards. Sorry, that should have been particle physicists apparently moonlighting as dimensional wizards. Like I said, I've been up since 5 typing this. Bear with me. These theories also create community. Believers bond over shared discoveries and hidden truths. There is excitement in feeling like you know something others do not. Unfortunately, this can also lead people down increasingly absurd rabbit holes. Today you watch one video about CERN. Tomorrow you're explaining to your cousin why Sasquatch is an electromagnetic force guardian protecting Earth from reptilian bankers. And somehow the conversation ends with essential oils and crystals. No one knows how or why, it just does. CERN's actual problems are much less cinematic. The real issues surrounding CERN are dramatically less exciting than interdimensional collapse. These challenges include funding, equipment maintenance, data analysis, international collaboration, and convincing governments to continue supporting expensive research. Yeah, I don't see anything in there about collapsing reality or interdimensional travel, so reality must be different than these crazy-ass theories, right? Contrary to conspiracy theories, scientists are not standing underground screaming, "The portal is open." Most days involve spreadsheets, calibration checks, technical reports, and arguments over statistical significance. In other words, the least Hollywood environment imaginable. If CERN truly opened the gateway to another dimension, the first sign would probably be a maintenance request form, a delayed committee meeting, and someone asking if the portal requires additional budget approval. Human bureaucracy would survive the apocalypse just long enough to schedule a follow-up conference call. Then we go to Sasquatch and popular culture. Sasquatch has evolved from indigenous folklore into a full-blown cultural icon, says some. Others believe the Indians were telling the truth. You know, the indigenous population, not the other Indians, the woo-woo Indians. And if that's offensive to anyone, just deal with it. Freaking soft-skinned pussy assholes. I'm going to use the word Indian, okay? And everyone knows what I mean when I say woo-woo Indian. I'm not being insulting to the race. I'm just trying to add light to an already tense situation. I still can't believe the Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians changed their names. You have disappointed me, Washington and Cleveland. You collapsed to peer pressure created by blue-haired, lip-ring frickin' idiots. I'm very disappointed. Today, Bigfoot appears in documentaries, comedy shows, podcasts, beef jerky commercials, my personal favorite, tactical gear memes, coffee mugs, and survivalist culture. And on the beef jerky meme thing, I actually have a Valentine from my fiance, and it reads, "Meant for you," which would be spelled F-U-R-U. And it's actually a heart, Valentine heart with fur, like long Bigfoot hair around the sides, and it's filled with beef jerky. Does she know me or what? At this point, Sasquatch has better brand recognition than several Fortune 500 companies. Part of the appeal is that Bigfoot represents mystery in an increasingly mapped and digitized world. People want there to be unknown things left. There is romance in the idea that somewhere deep in the wilderness, something ancient still watches from the trees. There's also comedy in imaging an 8-foot woodland ape constantly avoiding drone footage like a celebrity dodging paparazzi. One imagines Sasquatch crouched behind a pine tree muttering, "Great, another guy with a GoPro." That's pretty much how I think about it. The internet's role in amplifying weirdness. Before the internet, strange stories remained local legends. Now, every bizarre experience instantly becomes global content. Algorithms reward emotional reactions. Strange claims spread rapidly because they are entertaining. A calm scientific interdimensional Bigfoot confirmed. Bigfoot winning Miss USA pageant representing the state of Utah. Man sees same pigeon twice. The internet acts like gasoline poured into humanity's collective imagination. This does not mean curiosity is bad. Wonder is healthy. Mystery inspires exploration. But somewhere between healthy curiosity and microwave ovens are government surveillance parrots. Society occasionally loses steering control. Science versus spectacle. Science thrives on skepticism, testing, evidence, and revision. Conspiracy theories thrive on certainty. That distinction matters. It really, really does matter. Certainty is not reality. Certainty is what you believe to be real. That doesn't make it real. It's just like all these blue-haired freaks. Just because their feelings are hurt doesn't mean they're right. I don't even want to go off on that tangent right now. Science changes conclusions when evidence changes. Conspiracy theorists often reinterpret all evidence as proof of the conspiracy itself. No evidence, it's a cover-up. Conflicting evidence, it's disinformation. Experts disagree. They are part of the system. It's all one big cover-up, and it's something to get your attention off of something else. That's the newest one. Every time something happens that can't be explained, it's simply just injected into society by the government so as to get our attention off of something else that's going on. At some point, the theory becomes immune to reality itself. Ironically, this is the exact opposite of scientific thinking. Still, science can unintentionally fuel conspiracy culture because advanced physics generally sounds bizarre. Quantum entanglement resembles science fiction. Black holes distort time. The universe contains invisible matter we cannot directly observe. So when physicists explain particles may fluctuate through probabilistic quantum states, the average person hears Swiss scientists are summoning forest demons. Communication breakdown achieved. There you go. Right there it is. Final thoughts from the current timeline we're living in before, the Matrix fluctuates again and we're, eating handfuls of sand on the beaches of Normandy for some unknown reason. All glitches in the Matrix are real? No, they're not. Is CERN secretly destroying reality? Well, I'm not a physicist, so I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go with no. Is Sasquatch interdimensional? Hey, who knows? I guess it's a possibility. I find it hard to believe that something runs around the woods, eating tree bark and, small critters and smells like a wet dog mixed with diarrhea is capable of transporting himself through portals. But, hey, unlikely. It's unlikely, though admittedly funnier than many alternatives. Yes, these stories endure because humans crave mystery. We want enchantment. We want hidden truths. We want the universe to feel larger than our daily routines and unpaid bills. There's something oddly comforting about imagining that reality itself might contain cracks, even if those cracks mostly involve people misremembering serial logos. The real wonder is not that people believe in strange things. The real wonder is that humans build a machine capable of studying particles smaller than atoms while simultaneously arguing online whether Bigfoot can teleport through quantum pine trees. That's pretty good. I'm really proud of that one. The combination of brilliance and chaos may be the most human thing imaginable, and perhaps somewhere in the forest tonight, Sasquatch is watching CERN conspiracy videos on a stolen iPad, shaking his enormous head in disappointment at all of us. Honestly, he probably has questions too. My conclusion is the intersection of CERN, glitch theories, and Sasquatch sightings reveals more about human psychology than reality itself. These stories thrive because they transform uncertainty into narrative. People do not merely want facts. They want meaning. They want mystery. And occasionally they want to blame particle physicists for losing their car keys. Since science continues advancing, conspiracy theories continue mutating, and Sasquatch continues maintaining the world's longest undefeated streak in hide-and-go-seek history. Meanwhile, somewhere beneath Switzerland, exhausted scientists continue smashing particles together while unknowingly starring in the strangest fan fiction humanity has ever created. The universe remains vast, confusing, and pretty much ridiculous, which frankly feels about right. So I don't know, guys, girls, and whoever is listening. I'm just sick to shit of reality right now. I'm tired of it. I don't even want to deal with it right now. You look at what the Dems are going to probably be putting up for their presidential candidate, and it makes me want to cry myself to sleep. The woman's an idiot. She says things that are not true. She reads speeches that are written for her by people that don't understand the truth, and then when she says it out loud, it sounds even worse. She keeps doing it to herself over and over again, and the Dems are still looking at putting her up as their forerunner. I just don't get it, Back to reality a little bit. The Dems, you got AOC, Maxine the Mummy Waters, Bernie Schumer. These people, the districts they represent or the things they've represented or what they're trying to talk about. You got Bernie Schumer going from state to state doing all these speeches with AOC occasionally and screaming about fossil fuels and fossil fuels. Well, I'll tell you what, that jet you're flying around on is run by fossil fuels, and the cars you're being driven to and from events in are run by fossil fuels. Your carbon footprint alone is changing the ozone layer. And, the districts they represent, when they're saying that they don't want to be, the oligarchs and the kings and there shouldn't be billionaires and this and that. AOC and Bernie Sanders and Maxine Waters are all millionaires, telling us we're not allowed to be millionaires, basically. I don't know. I don't know how to tie this all up, but if you look at AOC's district, it's one of the most heavily crime-infected areas in the country. You got that, what the hell is her name? The African-American chick, I can't think of her name right now, from down in Texas. Or she says she's from Texas, or whatever. Her area of responsibility is just a monster crime rate, homelessness. You got, what's her name, Karen Bass out in L.A. saying, that's the best L.A.'s ever been. Maybe, but we have to go through miles and miles of homeless people, burn down houses, and dry reservoirs to get to the good areas. I pray every morning the Democrats start to open their eyes. I pray every morning that, they stop picking up guns to try to use them as exclamation points, and they just learn to think and open their eyes and think for themselves. Like I said, I don't think we have anything to worry about on the far right. We're much better shots. Let's be honest, we've got the most firepower. I don't think we have anything to worry about at all. It's just, I cry for the future of our children and grandchildren. They're the ones that are going to be affected by what comes up in the next 4, 8, 12 years. I encourage you all to pray for a better tomorrow and do it regularly. God will hear. I think right now he's just wondering what the hell half of you people are thinking. So just y'all watch your sixes and peace out.